Hello, my name's Lisa, JJ Movie slash Game Reviews, everybody. And I want to give you two video game franchises, not two video game franchises, but two video games, Mafia 2 versus Mafia 3. Which one is the better video game? Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to include DLC because Mafia 3's DLC has not officially come out yet. And Mafia 2's DLC is already have been around for a long time. So yeah, Mafia 3 versus Mafia 2. Mafia 3 versus Mafia 2. Now, which one is the better one? Let's start off with the protagonists. Both protagonists in Mafia 3 is Lincoln Clay. He's a black man hit in the 1960s, and he's a former Vietnam veteran. He's come back home because he's trying to help his black mafia family out, adopted black mafia family out to help them get above to make sure they pay all their debts, and ultimately he's betrayed, and he's seeking revenge against the people who have done him wrong. He's back from the dead to get revenge. Mafia 2, it's a coming-of-age story of a veteran, just like in Mafia 3. It's Vito Scaletta, an Italian young man who was sent to jail, but then he went to go join the army, so he's a World War II veteran, comes back home, and how he's meeting his old friend, and how he's getting intersected into the Mafia life, how he's going to meet the Italian mob families, how his buddy Joe Barbaro, who's like a brother to him, it brings him in because he feels bad for getting him into jail, so he's trying to make him into something more, trying to make some money and all that stuff, and how they became the Italian families in Mafia. Two different locations in Mafia 2 and 3. Mafia 2 has Empire Bay, which is New York City, and then you have New Bordeaux, which is basically New Orleans. You got two different video games, two different ones, and they both have great protagonists, and they both have great stories. This one is a revenge story. Mafia 2 is a coming-of-age story of a young man to come up to a mafia man, to a made man, and ultimately ultimately what it means to be a mafia man. During the blood and guts, this is the life we chose, and not everyone can live. Mafia 3's backstory is basically, this is the life we choose again, and ultimately, no matter what your race you are or anything like that, everyone could be taken down at any time, and Mafia 3 has a great backstory. It has a great storytelling as well. But which one of these two games I prefer? Let's say this. Mafia 3, they did a lot of things better in Mafia 2. One, it's way easier to find more collectibles in Mafia 3. It's so much more easier. You could look for Playboys, posters, communist posters, anything like that. You're going to have a feel-good dang time with that. Mafia 2, you couldn't find the collectibles for the life of you. There's no map to find it. You have to look for them to your dang self. It's nearly freaking dang impossible. So Mafia 3 gets that point. Which one has better music? Now that's a personal choice. You get the late 40s and early 50s of music with freaking Mafia 2. Dean Martin, Bud Holly. There's so many great soundtracks. And this one, you got the Rolling Stones, Bad Moon Rising, Stephen Wolf. It depends which area you're more of a fan of for music. And for me, it's Mafia 2. I prefer the Mafia 2 music. Now, cars. Again, personal choice. You got the old style classic of Mafia 2, Mafia 2 freaking cars, and they're just so classic to the old school way of the Godfathers and all this stuff, which I just love. Mafia 3 has this a little bit more modern, again, different era, different style. But overall, it's a feel-good time. Both cars are great. I can't really decide which one. Now, for guns, Mafia 3 includes some of the older guns for, like, the Thompson submachine gun. That's freaking awesome. So, which one has better guns? They're both the same, in my opinion. Which one has a better map? I'm going to give it to New Bordeaux. Just right now, you have a lot of great locations, and the fact that, but I would say that Mafia 2 has a wider variety just because they go through different seasons. They go through snow, they go through rain, they go through summer, they go through fall. Mafia 3 just really just deals them down in the bayou, and that's of course different. It's north versus south. It depends what climate you want. But overall, both games are great maps. Mafia 3 is more of an open world game than Mafia 2, even though Mafia 2 goes by chapter selection, but you get to explore during that time in that chapter. You don't have to really go to the mission or to the place. Sometimes the mission comes to you, but sometimes you just have to go outside and just go there, but you could drive around yourself, explore the city, so it's basically the same thing, in my humble opinion. but which one is the better story? Me, I'm more of a coming of age story because here's the thing. Mafia 2 started off beautifully of a young man, a young Italian man who comes to America. He goes to war and he comes back and now he's trying to make something of himself in the family and he becomes a made man. His journey of how, the struggles of to get to the made man was awesome. They had nice twists and turns. There was backstabbing all the way around. I mean, and when you finally made man, then the mornings go shitter, then everything it just turns out to be a lie, and it's just so much more personal in Mafia 2. It's a coming of age story of a rise and fall of a character. Mafia 3, even though they include the Mafia 2 protagonist in this game, Mafia 3, it's just a simple revenge story. Once you get betrayed, that's the only twist you're going to have. For Mafia 3, the main character, Lincoln Clay, after his journey of being torn apart being torn apart and being betrayed, there's no it's just a simple story. You get your revenge, you take out the main guy who betrayed you, his lieutenants, his sergeant, you worked your way, you try to take over the cities, and overall, it's just a simple little storyline. Other than that, there's only a couple special boss fights that are really stand out. Mafia 3 had a pretty, it's just a simple story with simple stuff, and really the side stuff should have been a lot better, besides just a repeat of taking over warehouses. I mean, there's something a little bit more. Mafia 2, you had to go through sewers to take out some people, you had to make a disguise to plant a bomb, you had to do jailbreaks, you had to do stuff constantly different. I mean, it's the first chapter you're in freaking World War II, second you come home, you beat up some guys, you steal some cars, fifth chapter you go to somewhere at the time you go around like to jail, then another time you're out, and there's just a cycle of things that continue. Mafia 3 is just like, okay, take out the villain, okay, doing this stuff, we got betrayed, I'm back, ready to take over, save this associate, take over the city, ooh, a surprise here, same old, and it just repeats. There's nothing new special. It's not a coming of age story, it's a straight up revenge story. It's like comparing, I'm not even freaking sure how to even clarify. I'm trying to think of revenge stories for movies and TV shows right now, but again, Mafia 3 is a simple revenge story. Mafia 2 is a coming-of-age story. Two main protagonists, both veterans, World War II veteran, Vietnam veteran, Vito Scaletta, Lincoln Clay, Empire Bay, New Bordeaux, New York City, New Orleans. Which one would you prefer? It's all a personal choice. Now, some people say Mafia 2's graphics are not that great. They're PS3. They're pretty dang good graphics. Mafia 3 has great graphics. I mean, both graphics are great. It just depends which story would you prefer. And still, for me, is Mafia 2. Mafia 2 has always been one of my favorite video games of all time. It's my second favorite PS3 video game of all time. I give Mafia 3. Mafia 2, I'm going to give a freaking 9.6. I just love it. It's a near perfect game for me. Just a lot of stuff with the collectibles was annoying because you couldn't find them. And, the collectibles was hard to find. It was not that, it was open world, but then we had to go to buy mission select. And overall, it was a pretty dang solid game, and I love it. It's an A plus video game for me. I love Mafia 2, 9.6. Mafia 3, I'm getting an 8.8, 8.6 out of 10. It's a B plus video game. It has great times, but it's a simple story. And for the side stuff, for instance, here's another difference between Mafia 2 and Mafia 3. Mafia 2, you could change your clothes anytime. Mafia 3, that one outfit, that's it. You don't get to change your clothes, you don't get to change your outfits, you don't go to a different apartment, different place. You don't really have a place to really live in that case. But overall, Mafia 2, Mafia 3, they're both different stories, different sides. Mafia 2, to me, is still an A to A plus video game, while Mafia 3 is a B plus video game. It has some great moments, but it's a simple story, not the greatest story in the world, but overall, it's a fun, feel-good time, both video games. I would recommend playing both of them. I recommend buying Mafia 3 right now. I recommend playing Mafia 2 just to see how it intersects and connects with Mafia 3, and overall, both games are fantastic, but for this round, I'm going to give to Mafia 2 beats Mafia 3, in my humble opinion. Alright, everyone, subscribe if you like, disagree down about me, comment down below, let me know, respect my opinion, I respect yours. Let me know what you all think of both Mafia 2 and Mafia 3, and what is your personal favorite video game out of those two, for Mafia 2 or Mafia 3. Alright, everyone, named Jalise signing off here with everybody. Bye bye.